What's up, guys? One Koala Man here, bringing you episode number 43 of our fairy tale reviews. And a lot goes down, and we get a little bit deeper in this fairy tale battle royale. So if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to hit that like button down below. It really means a lot to me that you guys hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel, because I welcome every single one of you, old and new, to the channel with open arms. I mean wide open arms. Be sure to share it to everybody you know would enjoy this type of review, because like I always say, this review is not like any other review. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and answer the question on the day, both, which will be in the description down below. And with all that said and done, let's get this mother underway. So we start this episode off where we left off last episode, and that's like the whole fairy tale guild fighting, and the citizens of Magnolia are just thinking, why are these kids fighting so much, you know? Like, they don't think anything serious is actually happening right now. They think this is like some part of the festival. And this battleground where the fairy tale members fight is the whole city of Magnolia. And our boy Redis is trying to go into the East Forest, trying to escape Magnolia, to go to Miss Poorly Usica to try and find some sort of remedy to cure all the girls and their stone looks. And he's running, but he can't escape because Freed set up a whole barrier around the city so nobody can escape. And then Freed manages to catch up with Redis, and so they're probably most likely gonna fight. And at this same time, Gray is running around Magnolia, and he finds Bixlow. And then Elfman runs into Evergreen. So all three of the Thunder Legion members are fighting their own different fairy tale members. And the Elfman and Evergreen fight is honestly a very disappointing fight, because Evergreen, you know, turns people to stone if they look into her eyes. So Elfman transforms into that one beast that he did back in the Phantom Lord arc, and he like blindfolds himself and just relies only on his smell. But he just gets wrecked by Evergreen. She takes the blindfold off and ends up turning him into stone. And I honestly thought that Elfman would have put up a better fight than what he just displayed right there. And moving on to the Redis and Freed fight, Redis is okay, so he's trying to run away from Freed because he just does not want to fight. And then Lucy comes over, and she's kind of, you know, sounding a little bit manly, like she's programmed or something. And Freed's like, huh, that's funny, I thought you were turned into stone. And she's like, well, it's gonna take a lot more than this girl to, you know, be stopped by all this stone or whatever. And turns out that that Lucy was actually one of Redis's drawings that came to life, and he was trying to escape, but Freed was like, okay, enough fooling around, and he just beats down Redis like that. So far, 2 of the 3 Thunder Legion members have beaten Fairy Tale members, and now we're on to the Gray and Bixlow fight. And that one's kind of a bit underwhelming as well, because, okay, so Gray freezes those little totem dolls that fly around Bixlow, and he tries to get Bixlow. But Bixlow, okay, so Bixlow can move the souls from those dolls into different dolls. So he controls, like, people's souls, I guess. And so he's got, like, 4 mannequins and, like, this weird doll thing as his new dolls. And so they're going after Gray. And then Gray, like, ends up in this barrier that Freed just conjured up out of nowhere. And it says that as long as you're in this little barrier, you cannot use magic. And so it's kind of like a cheating. Bixlow and the Thunder Legion are kind of cheating, but Bixlow finally manages to beat down Gray, and Gray honestly goes down way too easily to him. And back at the guild hall, Makarov, Natsu, and Happy are just over there looking at like this little scoreboard looking thing, but it's made out of like all these runes or whatever. And Makarov's saying, I can't bear to see this anymore. I surrender. And Loxus is coming in with like it's like a hologram, and he's saying, look, all you gotta do is just hand over the guild to me, and then we'll be cool, okay? And Makarov is saying, that's your big idea? You want me to give you the guild? And Makarov just blows up on that, and he's just super fumed that that's all Loxus wants, is he just wants the guild to have for himself. So they're all arguing, and it's not really going anywhere with the argument. Natsu tries beating up Loxus. Loxus just disappears because he's a hologram. And they're saying, okay, well, we have Gajiel left, but he's like nowhere to be found. But Gajiel is like behind the little gift shop stand or little bar stand, and he's eating all the like all the, what was it called, dishes. He's eating all the iron dishes, and they're saying, oh wow, Gagio's in this. And then they look up at the scoreboard and they see that there's only 2 people left out of like, I don't know, maybe 100 people. And Gagio and Natsu are the only 2 left. And then like Gagio says, okay, I'll see what I can do. I owe that chump a lesson. Like I owe him some payback. And so he tries to escape, but he can't either. And Natsu's saying, don't tell me you're over 80. And then they start arguing and bickering over each other and saying, do I look over 80? And it's just funny because they're 2 Dragon Slayers, so they got major beef with one another. And Natsu actually comes up with an idea. He's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just do this. I kind of wanted to show up Urza, but I guess, since I can't leave the guild hall, I might as well try and burn her out of the stone. And they're saying she's not covered in stone, she is stone. And he's like, whatever. And so he starts, getting his hands ready, and he starts, getting his fire on Urza. And Urza starts cracking. He's like, oh, no, I'm so sorry. And then she starts cracking even more. But luckily, Urza finally cracks out of the shell, like out of the stone. And she's like, why am I so hot? And she's like, were you trying to cook me, Natsu? And she just punches Natsu. But turns out that Urza, like the reason why Urza broke out so easily, I guess, was because of her right eye. And her right eye kind of weakened the effects of Evergreen's magic because she only has like one actual eye and then this artificial eye. So, I mean, kudos to poor Ryusuke, right, for screwing up on her eye. And now the scoreboard says there's 3 people in, and then it just randomly says there's 4 people in. And so everybody's thinking like, wait, what the heck? And they're saying, no way he's here. And he is referring to Mystigan. And Mystigan is finally in the fray. So hopefully we get to see what power Mystigan brings. And then Urza runs out of the guild hall trying to find anybody to fight because she's just, mad that Evergreen turned her into stone. And she just wants to, pay back Loxus for doing all this childish stuff. And some of the citizens stop her, and they're saying, hey, we saw a couple of your buddies fighting earlier. What's up with that? And she says, don't worry, it's all part of the festival. They're doing that. They're doing their thing. People argue sometimes, and so the citizens think this is part of the festival, like I said in the beginning of the episode. And Urza is running around, and she finds Evergreen, and Evergreen is saying, well, so you're Titania, the queen of the fairies. Okay, but I am the true queen of the fairies. And that is the end of the episode of Fairy Tail. So when we start next episode, we should start off with Evergreen versus Urza. Alrighty guys, you already know I don't like to end off these without a question of the day. And today's question of the day is regarding the Harvest Festival. And with you guys, do you guys have any sort of annual event or any sort of event that happens in your city? It could be anything really small to something at the park or something, or really big where the whole town gets involved. And let me know down in the comment section below. But an annual event that happens down here in Tucson is that they have this book fair, but it's not just a book fair. It's it has a lot of things. This thing is huge. It's over down at the University of Arizona, which is legit probably 2 miles from my house, which is pretty cool because it's a nice place. It's a really nice place. But let me know down in the comments, what annual events do you guys have back in your towns? And with all that said and done, keep it cool.